Jerry Hildbrand is our guest as we get ready for the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500. And another guy driving for Mr. A.J. Foyt.
Yes, sir.
How's that going?
That's well put question, because it could definitely go either way, kind of.
Yeah.
No, it's going great. Is my second year with the squad here at Indy. If there was ever a concern that I had, it would have been last year while we were honoring the 60th anniversary of his first win, and you got the livery that's all AJ Foyted up. But I had such a great experience with this group, and AJ is awesome to be around. And fortunately, we've been able to kind of put our best foot forward in last year in the 1 car and this year in the 11. There's nothing cooler than getting an attaboy from SuperTex, after qualifying or whatever it is. So
Does he ever come on the radio and say anything?
No, thankfully not. I think
FCC regulations would prohibit that language.
There's probably not. I mean, he can stay on the intercom, But
no, I understand that you own a pink Cadillac.
I do.
What is the story on that?
1960 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Her name's Rosie.
Wow.
Drove it out here last year, kind of in honor of the throwback program. Broke down once along the way and had to stop in Goodland, Kansas, and had a bit of a sort of come to Jesus moment in terms of whether this was actually going to work. I live in Boulder, Colorado, so it's a haul to get out here, 1,100 miles. We decided to stick with it and found a little local mechanics shop, and they got me started. I saw some hot rods and like dirt cars out in front. I was like, these are the guys that are going to know what to do with this thing.
Is this the one you put the bike rack on?
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Classic car down the street with the bike rack on top.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of my jam. So it was awesome and ran like a champ the whole rest of the way. No seatbelts, no windshield wipers, no nothing but 85 all the way along I-70.
Do you have a radio in the thing, like an old AM?
Actually, I have it's actually really cool. My wife got an old hat box of hers, like a vintage hat box that we turned into a Bluetooth radio. So that's how we kind of get radio in the car, which is kind of fun. Yeah.
What do you do in your downtime?
What do I do in my downtime? The race car driver answer here is working out and going for bike rides, and I'm a mountain biker, snowboarder, that kind of stuff. So out in Colorado, that's a little bit of that's what I do for fun. But I've been working within I'm obviously doing all the ovals for AJ Foyt Racing this year, so that kind of spreads out my year. Been putting programs together for Pikes Peak Hill Climb, doing some endurance racing, doing some other stuff. So some other racing outside of what I'm doing in IndyCar, and the IndyCar or the motorsport landscape from a broader perspective is going through a little bit of a shift here, going to some new regulations over the next couple of years in the IMSA series and sports car racing, and coming up soon with the hybrid program in IndyCar and maybe new chassis and that kind of stuff. So, between you guys and me and the fence post, thinking a little bit about, what would I like for my role to be as some of those things change, and are there opportunities to work with? I've got some great partners and longtime sponsors, maybe transitioning into or continuing to drive, but also looking at how do I get a little more skin in the game here and get involved. And, I've had the great fortune of operating in the sport for a long time and building a lot of great relationships. So, I've definitely been thinking a little bit more about how do I make good on that, maybe in a different way.
Is that owner, test driver, full-time driver? Like what direction?
I don't know. I think that looking a little bit more about how do I put myself in a position where I can facilitate opportunities for other drivers, and some more from a maybe team owner perspective or kind of team principal point of view. I just think that there's a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of interesting opportunities out there if we think a little further down the road in terms of what's going to become available and what's going to be going on. So. I've found myself thinking a little bit more about how do I help other guys, and that was kind of weird to me to just have that click through my brain, but I like the idea of being able to do it, helping the young guys out, and seeing even some of my peers get more interesting opportunities outside of their kind of primary swim lane, whether they're IndyCar drivers or NASCAR guys or otherwise. You talk to all these guys and they're like, yeah, I want to go to run 24 Hours Le Mans. I want to go run Daytona. I want to do Pikes Peak. I want to do Baja, and I just think, man, as a fan, that'd be so cool to see more of that kind of stuff happening. So thinking about how I might be able to facilitate that.
Tell me about your cap.
My cap, Homes for Our Troops. Just such an awesome organization to be working with. You guys have seen the livery of the car, just total stars and stripes, which was really awesome. Be easy to pick out on race day and Memorial Day weekend. But sort of this partnership with Homes for Our Troops is supported by ABC Supply Company, which is a longtime partner of AJ Foyt Racing. And they're an organization that builds homes from scratch for post 9/11 era injured veterans. And so, and the coolest thing about it to me is they've built 350 plus homes already. As you can imagine, there's quite a list for injured servicemen and women trying to punch their ticket to get in line, and they're trying to meet that demand as quickly as they can. But the coolest thing about it for me, for sure, is it's not just going in and retrofitting an apartment, condo, an existing home. It's building something from scratch. It's tailoring it, in the ways that they can to the specific needs of that family, that veteran, that family. It's inclusive of, family planning, financial planning. It's just top to bottom, giving people a fresh start. And, I think during my career with the National Guard and doing other things, we've been to Walter Reed, we've been to Bethesda, kind of see what these men and women are going through, and they deserve every ounce of help
Great program.
they can
Great
get.
program.
Yeah, which is cool.
The car looks amazing.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, it's amazing. Jalopnik had it as the #1 livery in the entire field.
I'll
so
take that.
I think if nothing else, it's getting big publicity. Great organization.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
Yeah, thanks, man. And anybody that's into it, you can. ABC is matching donations to Homes for Our Troops just this week for up to $1 million. They've already gone halfway.
And how do you go about
halfway
doing
past? It's HFOT, Homes for Our Troops, HFOT.org. Is the easiest way to do it. So jump on.
On another note, it would appear that the drivers now are in much better physical condition, and they're all. For you guys are all, for the most part, extraordinarily skinny. A couple of these guys, I'm sure, looks like they swallowed a xylophone when they take their shirts off.
Yeah.
If you look back, 30, 40 years. I'm not going to name any names, but some of these guys were not exactly in shape.
It hasn't always been that way.
Yeah.
Let's
But I
say
mean,
that.
the
Yeah.
strength it takes, you watch these guys just to steer the thing.
Yeah, and the road and street circuits these days, it's totally nuts. But yeah, I mean, I think it's also just become one of those things over the last. You see this happening in NASCAR and other places too. That it's kind of it's like a. I think there was a time where if you were among the super fit guys, it was like a competitive advantage. Now the bar is just so high that it's like you cannot allow for that to be something that's keeping you from getting the best result possible at the end of the day, because everything else is so close, and the level of the field is just like as higher than it's ever been throughout the field. And so that's part of it for sure, is just like, man, I gotta be, even just doing the ovals for me this year, it's like, all right, I gotta be, what's Joseph Newgarden's workout plan look like? Like, I gotta be, give me that same deal. Like, I gotta be on that program. I mean, I've been training 6 days a week, through the off season to do the ovals, which are arguably not quite as challenging, or the peak physical challenge is not quite as high. So it's a huge part of what we're all paying attention to.
When you're on a
doing.
snowboard, are you extra careful that you don't screw yourself up for the next season?
I wish you hadn't asked, kind of. But yeah, I wear wrist guards. There's some stuff like that. Snowboarding, mountain. I mean, I raced BMX bikes, mountain bikes, and stuff when I was a kid. Like,
did you have a nickname when you were a kid?
No. I don't. I don't think so.
Lone Star Jr. Junior.
Yeah, right. They've just been part of my repertoire. Like, I sort of think about those things. Mountain biking in particular is like, okay, it's even going downhill is my heart rate's like through the roof. Doing that, it's actually among the various things. I get sick of just being in the gym all the time doing stuff, and so some of those activities for me. In the absence of being in the car a little bit more, are there's a little bit of like reflex and all the rest of it, just the mindset of not making mistakes. That gets built in.
Do you wear your Apple Watch or in the car?
I have a Whoop band,
Whatever it is,
which is similar. Yeah.
So you can. My point is heart rate.
Yeah. Paying attention to it.
Do you go back and look
sure.
at it and go?
Yeah, and the beauty of all that is we can kind of tailor some of our workouts to what we're experiencing. Doing that kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, every day out here, our strain rating is up on a practice day for sure, and just like being in the car, all the data that you're gathering, it just goes right back into figuring out how to train even better.
When you're sitting there waiting to qualify, do you take a look see?
Yeah,
or can they tell you? Back at
it's not streamed. I don't have mine. I don't know. You probably could. You could probably share it. It'd be an interesting. It'd be interesting.
AJ, are you nervous?
Data
your
feed,
heart rate?
Hey.
Does it go up when
Hey,
you're out? Does it go
you
up
okay in there?
When you're out there and you're qualifying? Does it go up?
It was not stupidly high. Okay. While I was out there, I was pretty mellow. Well, generally in those kind of situations,
80?
like. Hey, my resting heart rate overnight's kind of like in the 40s, like 45 to 50. And so, being out, just being in the car, being kind of like getting ready to go out. Yeah, it's, sort of in the 80s or whatever. I mean, but when we're working out, I mean, Joseph Newgarden and I did this, relay workout on the Monday before practice week started. And my average heart rate for like 45 minutes was 165 or 170 or something. Like we're not immune to seeing 180.
Can you map it back if you're on track and the year was maybe a moment?
Usually you can. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's actually pretty. It's cool seeing like Patrick Mahomes shared his Whoop data from like a AFC Championship game or the Super Bowl a couple years ago or something. You could sit all the way at the end of the event. You can just see it's like, oh my god, like it's just going through the roof when it's crunch time. So we definitely see all that stuff. Just little spikes like, oh, that got exciting. Cool. Starts, restarts, all that kind of stuff.
All right. Favorite movie about racing? Is there one that's any good?
I mean, Days of Thunder for sure.
Okay.
Come on.
Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one. Cole. Cole's my guy. I'm actually a Rowdy Burns. I'm a Rowdy Burns fan. I don't know if that's kosher or not, but
whatever works.
He's my guy.
Whatever works. Well, have a great race.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for your time. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And, as always.
Is the pink Cadillac back in Boulder?
The pink Cadillac is back in Boulder. I opted for. I have another Cadillac CTS-V wagon, 6-speed, 600 horsepower. About the same fuel economy, but a lot quicker.
And General Motors,
not
a Chevrolet, but
yeah, GM product. Yeah. I think the Chevy guys give me a pass on that.
Okay.
Yeah.